You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Y&R fans, I have got some really juicy spoilers for next week, including Victor Newman sicking Adam Newman on one of his rivals. Plus, I've got scoop on Summer and Kyle, Phyllis and Lily, and also a whole bunch of the Abbotts. This is Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I'm going to share these hot tidbits for next week. And then tomorrow, I will have your full roster of weekly spoilers. So please subscribe if you're not following us so you don't miss a thing. All right, I am going to take this from least to most interesting with these 4 big spoilers, and I'm going to save the best for last. So we're going to start with Phyllis Summers talking to Lily Winters. And Phyllis says, I want to have a talk with you, just woman to woman. And she tells Lily, we have a lot to chat about. I don't know if they do or not. I wonder if this is Phyllis yammering about Daniel losing his job and his video game. I mean, what the heck do these two have to discuss? Unless Phyllis is going to come clean on the fact that she was basically encouraging Heather to come to Genoa City to break up Lily and Daniel, which was awful. I hope that Lily doesn't give Phyllis the time of day, whatever it is that she wants. And don't forget, Lily didn't fire Phyllis when she fired Heather and Daniel, but instead Phyllis abandoned her job in a show of solidarity. So I actually don't think they have anything to chat about, but we'll see. Next, we have Jack and Diane with Traci and her boyfriend Alan at Society. And Jack tells his sister, I knew the two of you were getting closer. I guess I didn't realize how close. And we're going to see Alan and Traci are all smiles. If you remember, Traci invited Alan to leave France and come with her to this meeting she had in LA. Remember, Traci told Alan that one of her books was optioned into a movie, and then he ended up joining her for the trip to California. And now Traci has brought Alan home to Genoa City with her, which is kind of a big deal. It's a step forward. So the question is, how close are they getting? Are Traci and Alan just traveling together as friends? I assume at this point, since they are on this adventure gallivanting around the U.S., that Alan and Traci are also hitting the sheets. But is it even more serious than that? Are we going to see Alan propose to Traci soon? With Abby and Devon planning to get married on November 13th, right in the middle of November sweeps, it would be fun to have a double wedding. However, given Abby's dismal track record with men, Traci might be wise not to associate her relationship with Alan aside to Abby's. Devon and his baby mama are all cuddly now, but we know Abby's relationships always explode. And I do like Traci with Alan, and I would like to see more of them. So maybe if they are going to, run off and get married, they should do it far from Abby's thing. All right, now to something much more exciting. We have Summer telling Kyle, and this is pretty much an ultimatum, right? She says, I'm going to need you to cut someone out of your life completely. And Kyle says, are you talking about Claire? And Summer says, no, not Claire. Clearly, Summer wants Kyle to kick Audra Charles out of his life. For whatever reason, Summer is hyper-focused on Audra, even though Kyle has been very clear they are running Glissade together, and that's it. There is nothing personal in this relationship. Diane and Jack reiterated that as well. And really, when Summer went to talk to Victor Newman, asking for his help with the custody case, if she had a bone to pick about Audra, she should have mentioned it, and then Victor could have clarified that he knows Kyle and Audra are just business. So you'll notice on Friday's episode of Y&R that they finally addressed the question of Summer's legal rights where Harrison Abbott is concerned, and they didn't do it very well at all. She said she adopted Kyle's son while they were in Italy. I am 100% certain Y&R decided to add that in because of all the fans complaining that she has no rights and there was no adoption. So they've done a retcon. And the thing is, what they said actually doesn't solve the issues. It kind of deepens them because it's actually very difficult to do an adoption for a US-born citizen child while you're living as an expatriate. That's what it's called when you're an American choosing to live in another country. Second, and most important, Tara Locke would not have signed away her rights to her child. She just wouldn't. And her going to jail for embezzlement embezzling is not a reason that any court would use to terminate her rights to Harrison. Y&R should have done a better job trying to explain this because it's just sloppy and irritating. Nonetheless, Summer supposedly has rights, but that doesn't mean that she's not in the wrong. Kyle doesn't need to put up with this. Summer doesn't get to dictate who he works with. And even if he were sleeping with Audra, that's none of Summer's business. Kyle's private life is his own. Audra is not a criminal, a drunk, or a drug user. Summer is just still butthurt that Kyle slept with Audra after he dumped Summer. And I did love that on the recent episode, Diane reminded Phyllis that Kyle and Summer's divorce is her fault. Remember Phyllis faking her death and then Summer lying to cover it up, knowing it was keeping Diane in jail, was what broke her marriage to Kyle. And despite all that idiocy, Summer is still taking advice from Phyllis about Kyle. And that's what is driving Summer's demands about Kyle cutting Audra out of his life, because Phyllis, for whatever reason, is hyper-focused on Audra. I'd really like to see Kyle drag Summer into court at this point and just strip her down to just visitation. Or maybe Kyle should tell her, sure, I'll cut out Audra when you cut out Phyllis. Because Red is not a good influence on her own kids, much less Harrison. And this storyline is just, it's just Josh Griffith doing what he does worst, in my opinion. All right, last but by no means least, because I saved the best for last, we have Victor Newman chatting up Adam Newman in his CEO office at Newman Media. Adam's behind the desk. Victor's sitting there and says, son, I put you in charge here because I know that you get things done when the time comes, and the time has come. So Victor is about to weaponize Adam against an enemy, but who will it be? Well, you know it has to be an Abbott, right? But the question is which one? Or maybe Victor's going to have Adam target both Abbott brothers because Jack and Billy are both on Victor's radar, but Adam told Victor already that he was not going to publish lies and trash Jack. And Victor said he didn't have to. So for that reason, I suspect Victor is going to task Adam with tarnishing Billy's reputation to help with this chancellor buyout. And it wouldn't take much to do it. I reminded you guys recently in another video of when Billy roasted Adam. That was when Billy and Lily were running ChanceCom Media, which eventually sold to Victoria and is now Newman Media. So it would be pretty ironic if the media outlet that Billy used to write a nasty expose on Adam's bad deeds would be used to eviscerate Billy publicly for his bad deeds. I mean, Adam could expose a lot of the sketchy things Billy has done in payback. So right now, Billy and Adam have this fragile peace because of Chelsea and Connor, but that's all about to blow up, and Billy just threatened Adam this week, and so I definitely think the gloves are about to come off, and if Victor orders him to come after Billy, I think Adam's going to be, okay, game on. All right, share your comments on these spoilers, and let me know what you want to see next week on Y&R. Please subscribe if you haven't, and definitely come back tomorrow. We'll have your full roster of weekly Young and the Restless spoilers. And remember, this is Belinda from Soap Dirt here talking Y&R with you all week long.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.